Lead Talks, connecting through community. Hello, we have two very special guests with us today. We have
Jade Shirey. I am an advocate, and my son and my family have been directly affected by lead poisoning.
And I'm Lisa Schmidtfrerick-Miller, and I'm a local lead prevention and healthy housing advocate.
Jade. I had actually seen your Washington Post article a few months back, and it sent shivers down my spine because it was so similar to what had happened to Cooper. Would you please, if you're comfortable, share with us what happened?
October of 2020, so right before Benny turned 1, I tore up carpet that was on the stairs and in the upstairs hallway of my house. And so they were hardwood stairs, and they were a really ugly red paint. I was just going to sand them, right? And then I was going to stain them and refinish them. And so I had gotten probably 6 stairs done and the landing when we went for Benny's 1-year checkup. His lead level was a 21.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew right away. And I told them, they were like, that you can call the county and the county will test to see where it was coming from. And I was like, I don't need them to do that. I know exactly what happened. I sanded lead poison dust into my son's lunch. That's what I did. And so I immediately stopped sanding the stairs at that point, obviously. So I qualified for a lead remediation program that they had started in my county. And they came, me and my kids moved out for 2 weeks. They did things to my house, arguably not quality craftsmanship, but they did not do everything they were supposed to do. They left some things undone. The end result was that there was lead dust left all in my dining room and in my heating vents and in my front entryway that I obviously was completely unaware of, because not only is the contractor under contract to take care of all this and they're lead approved and certified and blah, blah, blah. But the county is also supposed to do a walkthrough and test everything first. And so the house was cleared for me to go back in, and we went back in, and then we went to one of his, follow-up blood draws to see where his levels were at. And he had been at like a 7 or 8, I want to say. And they called me and they were like, he went back up. And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, to a 22. And I was like, excuse me? What? And I ordered swabs and swabbed and whatever. They had left dust on picture frames and on top of my fish tank, and they hadn't cleaned the baseboards of my desk. So the person came back, they cleaned again. There was still lead dust in my front entryway. And so then I just cleaned it, because that was the only option left at that point for me. He still, for probably maybe 6 months, he was meeting his milestones pretty regularly. And then it was 18 months. It wasn't necessarily like a light bulb or like a light switch, but it was pretty close. He went from doing all of those things and progressing to he didn't say anything. You know what I mean? And the things went even when he would try to say mama, it was illegible.
Yeah.
He really just didn't. And he no longer would follow the instruction. And he went from being started to be interested in potty training to absolutely, no interest, didn't even want to sit on the toilet. And thankfully I didn't have to fight with his doctor. She was like, you know what, you have said enough times that you felt now that things were not quite right. I finally got his actual diagnosis on paper.
Did you do anything to help kind of flush it out, or was it just removing the source and then he resumed talking? And I mean, it seemed like he was going to be quote unquote okay.
So yeah, I tried to do things. I tried to do as much as I could. I even really did look into metal detoxes and stuff. I called the nurse at the county, the head nurse at the county, and asked her what kind of a diet or what natural things I could help to take, give my son to either help excrete the lead from his system or flush it out. And she sent me a very generic, healthy cookbook. And I was like, this can't be real life right now.
Whenever we're looking to advocate for money for pediatricians to like educate them, everyone's like, why do you need $10 million to educate a pediatrician? And it's like, because they don't know. They don't know. And I work as a nurse now, and I've actually worked with pediatricians in the hospital that don't grasp the gravity of lead.
Some of the things that you mentioned really point to what some of the challenges are with helping our community to understand lead poisoning, helping pediatricians to really take it as seriously, and really everybody in the community to take it as seriously as they should, because it doesn't look the same for every child that's affected.
And these services are so important. Like Cooper didn't fit the algorithm. Like he had such deficits, but they didn't fit the algorithm. So his services were delayed. And he didn't start services until about 18 months. And once he started services, I could see the difference. And the OT, I don't think people understand that occupational therapy for a lead poisoned kid really helps with their aggression. These kids, I used to say, Cooper's like a roided up NFL player. Like he was out of control. Like I have 3 kids. I've never seen anything like with what happened with Cooper, with the aggression, with the escaping our apartment, escaping any place we went. He had no
It's
no
scary.
understanding of us. It's so scary. It's so scary.
I I had a breakdown the other day. I came back and
Yeah.
my neighbors had a pool. They just moved in and they told me they would get a 6-foot fence over whatever before next summer. And next summer they wanted to get a pool. And I said, I don't care as long as you have a fence. And I came home and they have a pool and no fence. People don't understand. So like I have alarms on all of my exits and entrances and even on my windows because he will open my windows and get out. And so like some of my windows are just completely screwed shut, but you can't have every window screwed shut because then it's a fire hazard and it's not safe for, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I had a social worker tell me she was going to that they would take away my child because I had to lock him in his room, otherwise he would have escaped the apartment.
Parents of kids with autism have similar brain structure to like war veterans.
The one thing I did want to ask you is about the pica. Cooper had a very extreme case of it. He was eating the sheetrock off the wall. He ate his bed like a woodchuck, like
He
literally
got
like giant
everything.
chunks out of this bed. He ate.
Styrofoam.
Oh, styrofoam is like, that's like putting an alcoholic in a beer hall. Like you can't, like, forget it.
They put like foam insulation on one of my closet doors. He eats that.
Yep.
He'll eat Play-Doh, he'll eat sand if he, gets
Grass,
whatever. He
the
will
clothes.
change. I found a quarter in his poop one time when I
Yeah.
changed his diaper. That was really scary because he was little. Like I'm very thankful that he whatever got it
That he
out.
got it out. Yeah, it didn't block.
On batteries, that's probably the most dangerous
Oh yeah.
because he also has an obsession. The remotes in our house are not allowed to have backs on them. I've tried electrical taping, duct taping. It does not matter what it is because then he'll keep the tape off the remote to get the back off the remote to be able to chew on the battery. So there's really no winning. He was like obsessed with pulling a single string out of blankets and towels for a while and eating that. And it like
That was Cooper. That
but
was
like a
Cooper.
single string.
A single string out of out of the
Yeah.
bath mat, out of the towel, out
Yeah.
of like everything. And I remember when the sheetrock, because the wall was painted pink, and the pink came through in his diaper. Like I was just like,
Yeah. And no, because
ugh,
Benny never chewed on any. I mean, he would chew on like his toys and stuff before then. But I gave him, like I said, it was the dust that got in his lungs. He didn't
yeah,
eat meat chips. And that's, I think, the
yeah,
one very terrible misconception is that every kid who's been lead poisoned is eating paint chips. That's
yeah.
absolutely not even accurate.
No, it's not.
Far from the truth.
Lead steals a child's potential. It steals their possibilities, who they were meant to be. It steals their future from them. And I just want the public to understand that. And I also want them to understand that it's actually kind of really easy to fix it.
When I started learning about this and the impacts of lead paint poisoning and the prevalence in our area and across New York State, I was just floored. The way the systems are set up and the fact that we've been using kids as lead detectors, essentially, because we have not had the prevention, focus on the prevention work that I think we all understand needs to happen. But we've been content with having kids get lead poison and then chasing down the source of the lead after the fact.
If you calculated all of the speech therapies that I have to fight for my son to get, and the occupational therapy, and every blood draw that he's had, and every other issue that he's going to have, and the social security that he gets, you know what I mean? All of these things, if someone would have just replaced every wood lead painted surface in my home when I first moved in, it would have been way cheaper.
I don't think people understand how expensive it is. It's like a Pandora's box. Once the lead is out there, it is so expensive.
Lead poisoning is 100% preventable. There's absolutely no reason for it.
One of the reasons why we're doing this interview series on top of the actual podcast is so that people can hear what is actually going on in the families who have kids who are lead affected. It's like it is something that is a constant everyday questioning of yourself, whether or not you're doing the right thing, whether or not there's some magic key that's going to unlock, their prison that they're in. You basically see your kid, I always said that Cooper was, in a prison with bars made of lead, like inside his mind, and I can't get him out.
It is literally a 24/7 battle of, am I making the right choices? Am I fighting hard enough for the things that he needs?
Yeah.
Am I trying too hard to make him conform to be somebody he's not supposed to be? Or am I not doing enough to get him to where he needs to be right now and, making him lose? I don't know.
I know.
And I don't know that there's any perfect answer.
There's not.
All I know is that I shouldn't have to be doing any of this because there shouldn't have been any lead paint in my house. So I should have been able to sand whatever I wanted.
I mean, I wish I was in person because I'd give you a huge hug because it's so painful and it's so painful on so many levels.
I'm tired and I'm beaten down and because I'm fighting every system. Not only am I fighting people not knowing about lead, I'm fighting the doctors not caring enough about lead. I'm fighting there are no specialists in my area. I'm fighting that I can't get my son ABA therapy because I don't meet the minimum qualifications for hours. You know what I mean?
I do.
So then after you fight 18,000 systems and you still feel like you've gotten nowhere, the last thing you're going to do is then go volunteer to be like, hey, this is how actually sucky everything really is.
Let me go get my face kicked in by some politicians who don't seem to care.
Right. Because I'm so personally affected, I kind of gave up after a little while because I wanted things to happen right now. I'm like, but now I'm telling you how bad it is, and you're still not caring. And I literally just had to at least take a break because I was enraged on a daily basis. And so Lisa's great because she's still doing all of the important things to stick it out and hopefully make change.
We need to have these stories shared, and I give you both so much, credit, and I'm so humbled by your willingness to share your stories. I know it's not easy.
I can't change things for my son no matter what happens, whether it happens tomorrow or 6 years from now. The damage that was done to him is already done. Yeah. But again, if sharing my story and sharing his story can help prevent anybody, whether it's tomorrow, 5 years or 10 years from now, from going through this, then it's worth it. And then maybe we can have some vindication of why this happened to him.
I just wanted to say thank you so very much for coming on the show, for being so open and honest and courageous and brave. And Lisa, for all the work that you do helping families like ours. Like, you guys are literally like angels coming out of the sky when you come in at our most desperate hour, and we need you so much. So thank you.